Okay, Your Honor, we're live. Your Honor, we're live now.
All right. Good morning and welcome to the continuation of our Monday night council meeting. Before we resume, I want to share a few thoughts about Monday night. You know, it was frustrating and disappointing to see the actions displayed in our city council chambers. Our return to in-person meetings after a 460-day COVID absence was marred by disruptive and alarming behavior exhibited toward the council members and our city staff. Finally, we had no choice but to recess our meeting to this morning. It is being conducted via Zoom rather than face-to-face. I've been asked by residents and media, and I'm sure our council members have as well, about what might happen to those who displayed such extreme behavior Monday night. That behavior that the demonstrators had on Monday, was certainly unfortunate and unacceptable. And we're going to review the video of that council meeting over the next few days to determine what violations occurred and whether citations should be issued. And we will work closely with Polk County Attorney's Office as we move ahead to accomplish the residents' business at our next meeting, which will, of all the city council and city manager are committed to accomplishing. While we welcome germane comments at the appropriate time during our meetings, the actions of the disruptors Monday night was to intentionally prevent and disrupt the council from doing the people's business. These are business meetings, and we're going to use every legal method necessary to get our city's business done and to hold those who intentionally interfere with that objective accountable under the law. This morning, we will continue with the actually, I think there's 6 hearing items from Monday night. However, we will not have a speaker portion, which we tried to open at the tail end of the meeting Monday night, but apparently the disruptors weren't interested in that part of it either. And received no response to the agenda item as it was called Monday, and because most of the speakers had forfeited their right to speak in the first place following their disruptive actions. So on the 28th, we will simply start with a new list of 20 speakers through registration through the city clerk's office. So again, I quickly ought to go over the rules because the items that we're going to have this morning, which are 72 to 76, are zoning items. So we will also, so as a reminder for the zoning items, which are items, again, 72 to 76, we will hear from the parties of interest first, and then the general public. The parties in interest include only the applicant for the rezoning and those people living within the 250 feet of the property to be rezoned, to whom the city has sent notices. After all those parties in interest have commented, we're going to open it up to members of the public for germane comments who are still qualified to speak. So to aid in recognizing the parties in interest, I will ask everyone else to not step up or raise their hand on the Zoom call unless they are the zoning applicant or they live within that 250 feet and received a mailed notice of the rezoning. As you know, anyone that puts their hand up prior to that and is not a party in interest will be considered disruptive, and they will not be recognized. And those that had already been disruptive at our meeting, they will not be allowed to speak either. After all the parties in interest have been, we're going to allow that public comment, one per person, to a maximum of 7 minutes, and they will be called upon for that germane comment. So let's go ahead and open it up. And Jeff, I'll ask, do we need a motion to open it up?
You need a roll call first.
Okay. Kay, I think we need to have a roll call, and would you begin to do that now?
County,
Here.
Boson,
Here.
Boss,
Here.
Gray,
Here.
Westergaard,
Here.
Mandelbaum,
Here.
Gatto.
Here.
Your Honor, we have a quorum.
Could somebody give us a motion to reconvene the meeting?
I'll
make a
move
motion.
to.
Go ahead.
Or
All
one
right.
else.
All
Go
in
ahead,
favor,
Connie.
say aye.
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 Any opposition? Hearing none. We'll go ahead and move to item 72. Item 72 is on a request from Mercy One Medical Center, Des Moines. Diane Cummins is the officer to approve a PUD final development plan, Mercy One Richard Deming Cancer Center, located at 411 Laurel Street, to facilitate construction of a new vehicular drop-off lane and canopy on and adjacent to the west facade building entrance in compliance with a previously approved PUD conceptual plan amendment. Again, parties in interest. Again, those are the applicant or those within 250 feet. Are there any parties in interest? All right, seeing none, we'll ask, are there any germane comments by the
Your
general
Honor.
public?
Will you ask for the parties in interest again? I had them,
Okay,
everything was set up.
again, parties in interest. Parties in interest.
There are none.
All right, now we'll ask for the general public. Any general public comments regarding Mercy One? Hearing and seeing none, could we have a motion on item 72?
Yes. I'll move item 72.
All right, item 72 has been moved. Would you poll the council, please?
County,
Yes.
Boson,
Yes.
Boss,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Westergaard,
Yes.
Mandelbaum,
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Your Honor, that's 7 yes, motion carries.
All right. Item 73, which is on a request from Hubble Realty Company. Steve Mosley is the officer for the 10th Amendment to the Riverwoods Legacy Plan Unit Development PUD conceptual plan for property located in the vicinity of Riverwoods Road and River Ridge Avenue to revise areas identified as F, G, and H on the plan by revising the configuration of the single household residential lots in area F and replacing area G and area H with an open space conservation area and eliminate the extension of River Ridge Road to East Park Avenue and to reduce the length of the Grand River Drive cul-de-sac. Again, let's open it up and ask for parties in interest.
Doug?
See Doug Saltzgaber.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Doug Saltzgaver, Engineering Resource Group, 2413 Grand Avenue. Also attending the meeting this morning is Eric Bonenkamp from Hubble Realty Company. If there's questions that I can't answer, he most likely will be able to. An unusual request from a developer, not asking for space to do more lots and development, but less. Over 75 acres of land has been dedicated to the city for park ground. Majority of that is heavily timbered and steep topography. The developer decided not to disturb those areas. And this amendment is basically a housekeeping item to revise the master plan to show that and drastically reduce the number of units that can be built in this area. And this would be the last subdivision that we've currently designed and have submitted to staff. This would be the last development of the development. And with that, I'll answer any questions you may have.
Okay, council, any questions? Doug, I see none. Are there any other parties in interest who would like to speak at this time? Parties in interest?
There are none, Your Honor.
All right, let's go ahead and we'll open it up to the general public for germane comments. 1 minute per person, up to 7 minutes. Is there anyone who would like to make comment regarding the Hubble Realty Company development at the Riverwoods Legacy? All right, I see one hand up. Leah.
Hi, I'm wondering if we should send the cops to your house to charge you since you guys aren't doing the people's business.
All
You're
right,
just
thank
allowing
you.
room for more
Public.
developers.
Shut her off.
Your Honor, I'll move item 73.
All right, item 73 has been moved. Would you poll the council, please?
County,
Yes.
Boson,
Yes.
Boss,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Westergaard,
Yes.
Mandelbaum,
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Your Honor, that's 7 yes, motion carries.
All right, Case item 74, which is on a request from University Avenue Storage LLC. Will Matthews is the officer to amend the Plan DSM, creating our tomorrow future land use designation located at 1960 Claypool Street from Business Park to Industrial to allow rezoning from RX1 Mixed Use District to I1 Industrial District for the expansion of the existing self-service storage located on adjacent property. A is the first consideration of the ordinance above, and B is the final consideration of the ordinance above. The waiver is requested by James E. Nervig, the attorney for University Avenue Storage LLC. This will require 6 votes. All right, let's go ahead and open it up. Parties in interest. Any parties in interest? All right, seeing none. Could we move then to the general public? Any general public want to speak regarding the University Avenue storage?
I see none, Your Honor. I'll move item 74, A and B.
All right, there is one hand up, the Reverend Emily Ewing. Emily?
Hi, this is Reverend Ewing. My pronouns are they, them, theirs. While I think storage in general is fine, it seems like a better use for this property, given the way that Des Moines is expanding, would be for affordable housing, especially considering the number of people in homeless camps who have been evicted by the city recently. It's appalling to me that we would not prioritize housing people. The previous item 73, got rid of some housing space for a good reason. This seems like just trying to put more storage units in, which is not actually serving the people of Des Moines, as well as the fact that most of these items that you actually kept on the agenda just seem to be developer requests, not the requests of the people, and you're doing the people's work, but you took away the people's voice for this.
That was time.
Okay. Could we have a motion? Joe made one.
Joe. Got it.
Joe, did that include A and B?
It sure did, Your Honor.
All right, would you poll the council, please?
County,
Yes.
Boson,
Yes.
Boss,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Westergaard,
Yes.
Mandelbaum,
Yes.
got him.
Yes.
Your Honor, that's 7 yes, motion carries.
All right, thank you. Item 75 is on a request from Menards, Inc. Theron Berg is the officer for property located at 6,000 Southeast 14th Street, 5907, 5911, and 5917 Southeast 8th Street, and 801 Hart Avenue to amend Plan DSM, creating our tomorrow future land use designation from community mixed use with a community node to approve an amendment to the large-scale development plan on file for the existing 20.8 acre site for retail sales, large format use, and to rezone the property from neighborhood from limited CX-V mixed use to N3A neighborhood district to allow the retention of 2 one-household living residences, 5907 Southeast 8th Street and 801 Hart Street, that are no longer proposed for the redevelopment, in conjunction with the large format retail sales use adjacent to the east, and to revise the zoning conditions contained in ordinance 15,929 that were applied to the site. It was rezoned to CX-V district. A is the first consideration of the ordinance above, 614th Street, 5911 and 5917 Southeast 8th Street. B is the final consideration of the ordinance above. The waivers requested by Theron J. Berg, the real estate manager for Menards. That will require 6 votes. And C is the first consideration of the ordinance above, the 5907 Southeast 8th Street and portions of 801 Hart Avenue. And D is the final consideration of the ordinance waiver request by Theron J. Berg, the real estate manager for Menards, and that will require 6 votes. Let's go ahead and ask if there's any parties in interest who would like to speak on this request. Again, that's the applicant and or people living within 250 feet. I see one hand up on a phone number, Kay. Can they unmute themselves?
You need to hit *6 to or *9 to unmute.
There you go.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. This is Nick Brenner with Menards, 5101 Menard Drive, Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Just wanted to give a quick history on this one. We came and rezoned these 2 properties back in October when we were looking at adding on to the store. Since that time, we have completed our engineering work for the most part and realized we can save 2 of the houses. So that is the purpose of this rezone here tonight or today. Is to rezone the 2 houses that we are not impacting anymore back to residential, so we can invest some money in them, fix them up a little bit, and rent them back out so some people can live in them. And I'll be happy to take any questions if there are any.
Council, any questions?
Mayor, just one question. As I went through the P&Z recommendation, it talked a lot about the I know there was some discussion about parking and the islands being put in for parking. What is Menard's plan to do that? Are you doing it every 8 spots, or what was the determination of what's going to happen through that?
So from communications with the city, that will be part of the discussion through the site plan review process. Right now, we are still asking for some leniency on there, just so we don't have to rip up the entire parking lot and, for the islands and for irrigation. We're trying to keep the disruption to as minimal as possible. Plus, we have an enormous amount of trees and landscaping on the site in general, especially on the west side and the north side where we are bordering residential units. So I guess we haven't come to a complete decision on that, and that will be something that we'll be working with city staff through the site plan review process.
Okay. Scott, is there a way that we can either do a workshop? This is happening more and more, not just with Menards, but with others that have a significant amount of landscaping already on the property, that when they come in to reinvest in their property or change something on there, that we're looking at having them rip up their entire parking lot to do this. So can we kind of have an update and where we're at and how we've gotten there with this particular portion of it? I know it's difficult, and this isn't the first one, and I know other council members have had this discussion with business owners and folks in their ward that want to reinvest, but really can't afford to do all of the stuff that we're trying to do. So I'd like to see that in a workshop form, if we can have a discussion about it.
Yes, Councilman, we can bring that up at as an agenda item for a work session. Absolutely. It's something we've had for a long time, so we can We can bring that back.
Every 8 spots in a parking lot?
I just meant generally the requirement to
Yeah,
address any site plan issues.
right. But I think this is, the 8 spots is something a little different, but I'm not talking about the tree mitigation policy or anything like that. I'm talking about ripping up parking lots that already have significant landscaping around it to put more. And I know that's a challenge, and I know that was talked about, that Menards possibly might have to close to even do that portion of it. So I hope staff will work with them. I don't have any problem with this. I will move 75 A, B, C, and D.
All right, let's, seeing no other parties in interest, let's see if there's any eligible individuals for the general public. Seeing none, would you poll the council, please?
County,
Yes.
Boson,
Yes.
Boss,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Westergaard,
Yes.
Mandelbaum,
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Your Honor, that's 7 yes, motion carries.
All right. Item 76 is on a request from Wesley Retirement Services, Inc., Rob Ketzinger as the officer to approve a PUD final development plan, Wesley Acres site improvement plan on property located at 3520 Grand Avenue and 401 37th Street to allow building additions for the north and west entries with reconfiguration of the adjacent parking lot areas, including the extension of parking to the north toward Grand Avenue, a building addition for a swimming pool and auditorium use on the west, and a terrace pond landscape feature on the north side of the site, and renovation of the central courtyard area. Let's see at first, are there any parties in interest? Darren. I see Darren's hand up.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, just very quickly, this project's been discussed several times at multiple planning and zoning meetings, and obviously city council previously. This is our site plan approval. I'm vice president of development construction for Wesley Life, 75-year non-for-profit senior housing provider in central Iowa, as well as the entire state of Iowa. The project itself is an enhancement of amenities for our community and our over 350 residents and the thousands of seniors and other people within the community that we serve. There are exterior amenities, realigned parking areas, new front entrance, in addition to the wellness center and aquatics and the auditorium. Extensive landscaping plan and arrangements made with adjacent neighbors on significant screening that we've worked collaboratively on with them through the process. I think that's a pretty good general recap of the project. I'll answer any questions as they come up.
All right, council, any questions for Darren?
No questions here. I'll just make a comment that I appreciate the effort to work with the neighbors on the landscaping and the components of this. I know there were a lot of concerns and there was a lot to work through, and I appreciate the effort to get to this point.
All right. Any other parties in interest? All right, seeing none, let's open it up for germane comments from the general public regarding this request from Wesley Retirement. All right, seeing none, could we have a motion?
I'll move item 76.
All right, item 76 has been moved. Clerk, would you poll the council?
County,
Yes.
Boson,
Yes.
Boss,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Westergaard,
Yes.
Mandelbaum,
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Your Honor, that's 7 yes, motion carries.
All right, that is the final item on our agenda for today. I want to thank the council and the applicants on these zoning items and issues, and the general public for your attendance. Sorry that we had to put it off till today after that disruptive and frustrating, disappointing actions in front of the city council on Monday night that did not allow us to do these items that required input from the parties in interest. So with that, could we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll move to adjourn.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposition? Hearing none, thank you all. Meeting's adjourned.